And on the sidelines of the 65th Siam Convention, Business Today is ruling its coverage on, of course, GST reforms and asking tough questions to the auto companies. And of course, auto companies have been very efficient and proactive to pass it on to the consumers. And Mahindra was the first company to pass it on with effect of 6th of September, so to say so. And I'm joined by Nalinikanth Gollagunta to speak to that. Nal, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Chet.
First question is, of course, you were the first company to pass that benefit on to the consumer.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you, how was it possible to, put that rate into effect from 6th of September when it officially comes into effect on 22nd September? So what happened here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So firstly, we are very excited with the GST toward auto reforms. We believe it's a step in the right direction. And it's a reform which is focused on delivering benefit to the customer. That's the genesis and the philosophy behind what the government is trying to do. And so when we looked at it, if this is the kind of benefit they're putting with the spirit of the festive season, we said, why don't we bring the festive a little bit earlier? So what we're doing is we're putting out schemes, a direct consumer scheme, so that the customer comes in and walks and buys the vehicle today. Instead of waiting for September 22nd, they get exactly the same price benefit that they would get beyond that from a GST cut perspective. So instead of a GST cut, it's a scheme that we are doing to the customer, which we are passing directly to the customer.
So who pays for this scheme? Does Mahindra gives out money into the relief through its own pocket, or you reimburse the dealer because the dealer has bought the car with its old GST regime?
Of course.
And so do you reimburse the dealer, or you put it from your own pocket?
No, it's something we would reimburse because they've already built most of these vehicles. And as you know, that one of the steps we had taken in late part of August, once we knew that the GST thing was coming, we were very prudent to hold back some of the shipments we had done as well, so that we don't add that additional pressure. So to that extent, it's a scheme which will go through the dealership to the customer.
Okay. Coming back to the point of, passenger vehicles, of course, it's going to get a huge boost. But in the first 5 months, 6 months, we've seen calendar year that the year was muted when it comes to sales. The next 6 months, how are you looking at? A lot of OEMs are betting on the second half for eventual revival of the automobile segment after a very long time. What's your bet?
Yeah, so firstly, if you remember at the beginning of the year, we said that we are going to be putting out 15 to 20%, mid to high teens volume growth is what we said. Now, in the backdrop of the industry, like you said, being flattish to 2 to 3%, that was an aggressive target we had taken. And we had delivered within the first 5 months we looked at it, we did about 19 to 20% volume growth. So we are on track to that. But with the GST reforms, we'll be able to achieve those numbers. So the confidence for us to go achieve those mid to high teens has increased for us. But across the industry, it's great news. It benefits portfolios for both small cars and large cars as well, not just for us, for the industry. So it's a very welcome step.
All right. If you see a month-on-month growth, Nal, we see August sales fell by 9% to 39,399 units after a 20% jump in the SUV sales. Yeah. What are you attributing that to? And with this reform coming in, do you feel the numbers would eventually pick up? And if yes, till what?
Yeah, so hard to predict what the numbers will end up at this point in time. The August numbers, you have to take it in the context of some of the billing slowness we all took prudently, not to make sure that we are overloading the dealers to that extent. So I'd be careful to ascribe anything other than that to the August numbers. If you're looking at August, look at Vahan numbers, because Vahan numbers kind of continued. So we've had healthy growth on Vahan there as well. But our view is that with the GST scheme coming, GST reforms coming in, the excitement of the market is quite palpable. We are starting to see inquiries, walk-ins come in. Now, some of it might play out before 22nd, some of it might wait after 22nd, depending on how you look at it. So, but we're very clear that it is very beneficial for the industry, and it should be a good festive momentum for all of us.
And how much growth are you seeing when it comes to the industry and for Mahindra that was the second half of the year, when the reforms do kick in and the festive season is at its peak?
Yeah, from an industry perspective, I wouldn't be able to do crystal ball gazing, but from our perspective, we are still holding on to the mid to high teens growth that we said we will do for the second half of the year.
All right, and of course, good news coming in for you that you surpassed two biggest competitors to become the second largest car manufacturer in India with a significant market share. Congratulations on that as well. But I want to ask you how you're quite far from the number one player right now.
Yeah.
How are you trying to bridge that gap now? Give us that strategy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Chetan, one thing we always say within the company is focus on the customer, deliver good products to the customer, have a portfolio which excites most part of the market to that extent, and the numbers will take care of itself. And so when we were 4, we didn't think of 3. When we were 3, we didn't think of 2. We are focused on delivering an exciting portfolio to the customer. We'll continue to focus on that.
All right. Nal, the two electric SUVs has seen a massive traction going on. You got 20,000 sales within 5 months, which is like a great number to do. How are you planning to maintain that strategy going forward? Plus, government also, put that clarity in very handedly that we want GST on EVs to be at 5%. So, with that clarity coming in, what do you feel about the two EVs that you have right now?
So both the EVs have been very well received in different parts of the market. More than 2/3 of the customers who are buying these vehicles are new to Mahindra portfolio. So that's a great step for us. We are expanding our segment base as well beyond the traditional Mahindra customers with the EVs coming in. And the special launch we did on Batman excited the market more. So that's given good sales as well. If you see the first few months of it was only on the Pack 3, which is our top end model. So we are now starting to get the Pack 2s in volume going in as well. So when we think about volumes, we are now starting to see a portfolio which is much more healthier in terms of spreading the variants as well. And in the later part of the fiscal year, we'll have the new EVs being launched as well. So that will add to the portfolio overall. That should help us maintain our position in the market.
All right. And lastly, Vinal, going forward, would you like to give any guidance on the FY26 for the year?
No, it's the same guidance that we have had when we put out earlier. It was a very aggressive target. With the GST, we have more confidence that we'll be able to hit those numbers.
All right, well, that was Nal speaking to us on Business Today on what really SUVs mean for the company, and of course on the sidelines of also talking about the two EVs getting a solid traction as well.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.